Good morning, everybody. How is everyone this fine Tuesday? Hi, Dawn. Hope everyone is doing well. Looks like I got a little thing that popped up that said my stream quality is not great, so hopefully you guys aren't having an issue on the other side. Good morning, Arlette. I'm going to give a moment just for everyone to pop in here. In the meantime, give you a little bit of introduction about myself. My name is Charlene Madrid. I am on the design team with Picket Fence Studios. Been there about 3 years at this point. And most Tuesdays I go live at 12 Central. Just depends on if something crazy stops me from being here. But most of the time I'm here. 12 o'clock Central. I think I said that. Hi, Paya. Yay. Everybody's popping in. How is everyone on this Tuesday? It's, we still don't have a lot of sunshine here in near Seattle. It's gray and kind of a little bit rainy again today. So hopefully it warms up. Thursday I'm supposed to be doing field day. I'm volunteering at my elementary schoolers' school. So fingers crossed, it is warm. It looks fine on that side, Dawn. Yeah, it's just kind of meh this morning. It was pretty nice this weekend, though. Okay, so today we are going to be doing a fun technique that I have not done in a long time. I'm going to be real with you guys. I'm going to pull out something hi Nima, from my drawer that I have not used in, I don't know that I've ever actually used it for its intended purpose other than one time. I've used it for other purposes, but for its intended purpose, I think I've used it once. So maybe you're like me and you have this item sitting somewhere in your craft room and it's not getting any love, and I can inspire you to use it because it is an excellent alternative to ink blending. Super, super easy, and you get an absolutely gorgeous result. So let me flip you over here to my desk and let me grab this magical product and everything we're going to use today. All right, here it is, guys. The gel press. I use this. The main reason I actually use this is because I use it to ink my, I don't have a good example here because I don't do it on my Distress inks, but I have little stickers on the sides of my ink pads that I ink in the color so I can get a true representation of the color of the ink pad. And that's mostly what I use this for. I used it one time to create a print, and that's it. So we are going to create a really gorgeous color combination print, and it's not hard to do. I have the 5x7 gel press, and that's the name brand of this is Gel Press. There's also Jelly Plates, and that's a name brand, but it's essentially a gel printing plate. Gel printing plate. I can talk, really. And if you don't have one of these, they're actually really cool. So it comes with 2 pieces of acetate on each side. You can see it's kind of this like squishy jelly material. And you can do so many cool techniques with this. I want to try and do more. But the main one that I think just makes this super handy, and it's I probably don't use it a lot because I do ink blend pretty well. Like my ink blending's good at this point, in my crafty career. But it gives you a different look from ink blending that's almost better. Paya, you love using your gel plate? Yeah. Hi, Mickey. Haven't made cards in months. Oh, yeah, I've been through that. I hope you get back into it soon. And Nima, yep, mirror stamping is also a really handy way to use this. But today I'm going to show you, and if you've already done this, let people know down in the comments for sure. Today I'm going to show you how to get a gorgeous blended color blend with this. So I'll show you the rest of the products we're going to use today later. Let's just dive in. So I've got some Distress Oxides here. I got Broken China, Chipped Sapphire, and Wilted Violet. You could use any kind of ink though for this. It doesn't have to be oxide ink. I just like the way that it looks with the oxides. And this process is exactly the same regardless of the type of ink that you're using, okay? So first things first, when you get one, you do want to, if you want to do this technique, you want to make sure that the plate is big enough that it's going to cover the front of an A2 size card or whatever size card you're going to want to make. 5x7 is perfect for me because I pretty much, unless I'm making a slimline, and then I wouldn't do this technique anyway, 5x7 is really going to cover pretty much anything you want to use on it. Paya, you use acrylic paints. Yes, that is a gorgeous way to use this. And I don't actually own very many paints, which is part of the reason I don't use this very often. One, because I ink blend rather than using it. And two, I don't have a lot of paint. And I've been trying to hold off from going down the rabbit hole of buying all of the distress paints. We'll see how much longer that lasts. But what we're going to do, super easy. We're just going to open our ink pads here. And again, remember, you can do this with any kind of ink. It does not have to be oxide. And you're just going to swipe across the gel plate. And I'm going to do it in the order that I want the colors to be blended. And I usually like to try and put like whatever the darker colors are towards the top and lighter colors towards the bottom. So I've got my Wilted Violet, Chipped Sapphire, and Broken China. And then all you do is you take your brayer. Now I have two different brayers. I have a Speedball and then I have this Tim Holtz one. I do think the Tim Holtz one works better. Something about it tends to work better for this technique. And all you're gonna do is run your brayer all the way up the gel press. Just like so. And you don't want to go back the other way because we want the blue to blend into the purple. I don't want the purple to be coming down any farther, okay? So you can see, I don't know if you can see on camera really well, but there's still a good amount of ink on here. So what you can do is you can make kind of an extra fun and funky side piece by just running the excess off your brayer. And you can save this for like cool different techniques you might want to do. That's just an extra little thing. But you do want to get the excess off of your brayer for the next round because we're going to do this a couple times. So I've got Nina 80-pound cardstock, but you also could use just regular printer paper, like a copy paper, and it works fantastic. But you're just gonna lay this down over the top of your gel plate, and you're just gonna rub. That's it. And if you want a more distressed look, you can kind of just like push down in various spaces. I wanna get all that pretty ink. And it doesn't take long. And then you just peel it off and you can see we have that ink now on our paper. Now on this one, I pressed down a little bit too hard probably with my brayer for what I wanted. So I still have a fair number of lines in it, but that's okay because that's gonna blend out as we add more layers too. So I'm gonna come back in again with the Wilted Violet. Swipe that on there. You do want to pick colors that are going to blend well. You know, not every color is going to blend super well. And if you're using oxide, sometimes little pieces of the ink pad come off, the little felt pieces. You do want to get those out of there because they will show. So same thing, just this time I'm going to be a little bit more cognizant and not press so hard. And we're just going to go all the way up. And then we can take the extra and kind of brayer it here and there around our scrap piece here. Set that down. We're just gonna place this piece right back over. Paya, the cleaning paper is always the best, right? you're like over here trying to do this fun technique, and then you're like, oh, I think I like the cleaning paper better. I've had that happen when I've used the brayer for other things. I like to use it for going over embossing folders and different things like that. And the scrap paper, many times, I have been really impressed with. Okay, so we're getting a lot of color down on here. Where are we at on time? We're at 10:13. Okay, we're gonna do it one more. And you can do this as many times as you want to build up the color. And if you only want to build up the color in, you know, like one area of your finished piece, you can just do that. You don't have to always apply all three of the colors down. I'm probably actually going to bring in, I think, some blue, maybe all the way across the whole piece. So just lightly going across. Sorry for the squeaking. I didn't realize it's going to be squeaky. Brayer it off. And I'm kind of doing like, just to give it some fun, funky vibes, kind of moving my brayer around as I do this. And we'll put this down. And it's wild because it almost looks like there really isn't any ink on that gel press, but there's a lot. Like all of it comes off and onto your paper. And you can see there's still a bunch on the brayer. So if you were doing this with just like, say, a single color, you wouldn't have to clean off your brayer. You could just use the brayer again. Oh yeah, see, look at how that color's building up. Starting to look really good. So I'm gonna just bring in the broken china this time and the chipped sapphire, because I think that's really what I want to build up. I think I've got enough purple there to be happy. Make sure I clean this all the way. And all the way up. Trying to remember not to push too hard. And this cleans off super easy. All you have to do is use a baby wipe, or you can rinse it in the sink if you want to. Nothing fancy. Yes, Mickey, you can. So if you look in the description of this live, it'll have links to everything that I'm using. And in fact, let me, because you're over on Facebook. Just look in the description and there'll be links to everything. And you can get this on Amazon. Pull this up. And look at that. Now, if I was being more careful, I guess, and not kind of jabbering and paying such little attention to what I'm doing, I could get a really smooth result for sure, not have any lines at all. But this is just like, you're not going to get really any, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, your color is going to be smooth, and especially once this dries, it'll look even smoother. So this is really fun. Something else you can do with your gel press is you can use stencils. Now, I'm not going to do that today because I am using a stencil that has pretty small openings. But what you can do is you can ink up your gel plate, put your stencil down, and then you would just flip your paper over on top of that, like this. So you'd ink it up, put your stencil down, and then you just put your paper on there, and it's only going to pick up the color that's in between the areas of your stencil. So I do recommend using a larger stencil, which is why I want to use this stencil today, which is the Rainbow Dream stencil that came out this month. And it has kind of smaller openings, and I want those colors to be really bold with what I'm using, so I'm not going to do that. but it's another fun way to do something. So we're going to take this. I'm going to set this aside. That's the extent of our gel plate today. And I'm just going to wipe it off here real quick with a baby wipe. But you could use pretty much anything to clean it off. You don't want to use something that's got a lot of threads that are going to stick on there, because then that will show. But all you gotta do is wipe it off and it comes right off. See? Easy peasy. I like that it's easy cleanup. Now for the Brayer, one of the reasons that I like this Tim Holtz one so much too is I didn't figure this out until I'd used it for a while, but you can just pull the edge and take this whole thing out and hold it like this, and it makes it super easy to clean. You just take your baby wipe and kind of wipe it as you turn it. Now normally I don't show you guys my cleaning process of things, but since I didn't think about that or figure that out, I thought maybe it'd be helpful to share. But there, see, look, and it's all clean, ready to go for the next time. Easy peasy, right? There. So we'll set this aside. We've got our fun little piece here that we could do cool stuff with. I'll save that. I like to use things like that to die cut. Joan, it really is a pretty stencil, so I want to use it again. I used it on another card. Was it last week? A couple weeks ago? I don't remember. But it's a really nice stencil. And I like that it's rainbows, but it's just kind of like, it's not like screaming at you that I'm a rainbow. Does that make sense? It makes sense in my silly little head. Come on, dry off table. I don't want to stick my pretty paper down on a wet surface. Okay. Now, which way do I want these to go? I want them to go this way, I think. Okay. And I'm going to bring in some magnets. And so I'm going to do tone on tone, which is one of my favorite ways to stencil, because then you have like this big bold background, right? It's not like I could just stencil this stencil and then leave all that white, but because I'm going to be doing tone on tone where I've already inked the background before I add the stencil ink, it's going to really pop. It's going to look, the whole thing's going to be bold and beautiful and colorful. So I'm going to take the same exact colors and I'm going to use my paper pouncers here, and I am just going to pounce over the stencil in the exact same areas that the color is on the background. And it doesn't have to be perfect. Am I on screen? Yeah, okay. And remember, if you tap off with these, right? Like if you tap off with them, which is what I'm doing down here, you can swipe and pick that ink back up. It doesn't go to waste. So we've got, I think, this whole bottom part covered. So next we'll bring in our chipped sapphire. Put this away. Okay, and same thing. I need to re-ink this guy, I think. Not picking up very much color, but just bouncing. No fancy technique to this, guys. If you've never used the paper pouncers, they are awesome for stenciling because they don't bend any of those little kind of fine details on your stencils. You're not doing a swirling motion, so you're not really moving your stencil around, which is handy. And they are, you get just really beautiful color coverage with them. It's kind of hard for me to see if I've got enough color down here because, like I said, I think I need to re-ink that ink pad, but I think we do. Okay. So we'll bring in our Wilted Violet now. Try to keep myself honest here and clean as I go. Right, Julie? I just, tone on tone is stunning. It's one of my favorite ways to do a card. I think it just, I don't know, it's just so, it gives you a beautiful background that's not so crazy or so stark that I feel like sometimes those kinds of backgrounds take away from whatever your focal point is, like your sentiment. But tone on tone just gives you this big, rich looking background. I also like to stamp background stamps on colored cardstock, so I can do like a tone on tone that way, and it always looks good. I think I brought my purple down farther than I wanted to, but we'll see. I think that is good. I'm just wanting to make sure I get enough ink on there because I didn't tape or hinge this. So once I pull it up, I don't want to have to try and put it back down again. I'm going to bring just what's left here on that blue back in, just to help kind of blend that Wilted Violet and Chip Sapphire. Okay, let's see how we did, guys. Get these out of the way. And the nice thing about the Distress Oxide, you could even use a different color, not do a tone on tone like this. And because it's a hybrid ink, it will show up really nicely. And another thing that would look really cool is white pigment ink. Julie, you ink smush with your tap off ink. That's a good idea too. Okay, here we go. Yay! Look at that. Isn't that fun? That's gonna look so pretty when it dries. And then if you wanted to, you could spray this with water, mist it with water, and get another background out of this. Set that aside. Might as well use this baby wipe to clean up since I already have it out. And when you work with a gel plate, what I would recommend doing is making a bunch at one time, because then you can just have a bunch of backgrounds to have on hand for whenever you want to make a fun, quick card. So cool. Okay, next, let's see. Bonnie, oh my gosh, stencils. Girl, try the stencils. I love stencils. I'm a stencil lover. I love stencils. You can use them. Just watch more of my videos. I use stencils all the time. I love them. Thanks, Joan. Okay, what we're gonna do is we're gonna bring in, nope, we're not gonna use that yet. Just kidding. We're gonna cut this down is what we're gonna do. My dog is sleeping on the floor right next to me. So I'm going to try not to run him over. It's like always underfoot. Hold on a second, guys. Come here. There. Okay. I've got this. Ooh. Sorry. We're going to trim this down. Normally I'd let it dry a little bit more, but because we are going to try and finish this card within the hour, I'm not gonna wait. I'm gonna trim off the edge there. I'm gonna just be doing an A2 size card. So I'm gonna first get my 4 1/4. Ooh. Try not to move it. And then I'll decide where I want my 5 1/2. I definitely want some of this purple in there at the top. I don't think I need it to go all the way, so I'm gonna go like this, I think. Yep, look at that. Don't things always just look so much nicer once you cut them down? It's really quite amazing how much that adds to a card once you cut it down. You get all that excess off of there. Okay. Move this out of the way. Where are we at in time? It's 10:28 my time here on the Pacific Coast. I want to add a little bit of splatter, but I'm just thinking, let's do it. All right, I'm gonna grab paintbrush, grab my splat box. Set this in here. Now, because these are oxides, they are going to turn white wherever you add water. And because the paper splatter, I'm using the liquid white Snowflake color, because this is essentially a watercolor, it's water-based, it will be shimmery and white wherever we put this splatter. I am going to water this down just a little bit, add some water on here, and then mix it up with my paintbrush. And then I'm just going to kind of tap along here just to get some fine droplets and add just a fun little extra layer here. Now you could do this with white paint, and I think that would also look really cool because it would show up really brightly against the background. You can see now, if I hold this up, we've just got that little bit of shimmery splatter on there. It doesn't show up great on camera, but in person, it's like shimmery. Looks really pretty. Bonnie, but it'll look so beautiful. Exactly. Exactly. All right, let's get this. Oh, let's knock things down. Gosh. Just throwing things. Knock it all down. All right, let's clean up this stuff. I like that liquid snowflake color because it is just a shimmer. You can mix it with other watercolors, which is fun, to create your own shimmery watercolor or splatter, which I like. Or if you want it to just be your basic little shimmery addition where you could like paint it as an accent on things, or it's just a good like all around kind of paper splatter to have on hand. Just don't put it away in a drawer somewhere. That's my only advice. These kinds of things, you gotta have them out where you'll think about them. So like I keep all of my, can you guys see back there? Probably not. Let me switch around. Hi. So you see this little rotator guy I've got back there? I've got all my paper splatters and liquid watercolors and stuff like that on a little turntable type thing, which works well. And then it's out, so I don't forget about it. Let's take a drink. All right, now we're gonna set this aside. Let that dry. Somewhere I don't stick something on it. Did I mess up my camera? Probably. There we go. Okay. Now we're gonna use the Hello to You word die set. And I know I used this one last week. Yeah, because last week we made this card. Hey, is Ray here today? Ray, if you're here, you were the card winner last week. And I don't think you had left, so I don't think you came back to see the end of the live. So if you're here, this is my last time. I'll let you know again. Send me an email, but I've got it sitting up here. Oh, sorry. Just get really excited because I remembered something I was going to tell you guys. So last week, I don't remember who it was, but somebody had asked me about whether or not you could heat dry the twinkle lights. Was it the twinkle? No, the glass, the paper glazed glass, which is what I used last week. So I tried it off camera so I could report back. You can, I would not use a heat gun if you have a heat tool like this that is more diffused because it has a larger opening. And then you do have to be careful because you can see kind of here it started bubbling a little bit, but over here it dried fine. So take that for what it's worth. You can, but you want to be super careful because you could bubble it. All right, now back to our regularly scheduled programming. We've got our hello and our to you. We are going to cut this out from, I'm moving my camera. Sorry. Bonnie, oh good. Yeah, so that's the answer there. So I knew somebody had asked me and afterwards I was like, I better do that before I forget. Okay, let's grab this because I don't need a whole piece of cardstock. And I'm just gonna cut this down. Do you guys buy pre-bought card panels or do you cut your own? I always cut mine. And I always make my card bases as I go too. I don't know. It's just, I don't, the idea of sitting down to do a bunch at one time makes my head hurt. That's not my jam. I know some people love that, but it's not for me. Okay, we're gonna put these on here like this and let's cut them out. Let me grab moving around. Are you gonna stay? I don't want to get this messed up. Hold on. You know what? Let's just flip this over. My magic mat is not working terribly well with my new electric machine. I will say that. Works great with my manual die cutter, but it seems to be bending a lot more. And it's probably because of the different pressure with the big shot switch that I have. All right, let's run this through. Grab this. Now, if you know or watch my videos on my personal channel a lot, you guys know I love to build up dimension. But this card, we are not doing that. So I don't need multiple die cuts of my sentiments. Normally I'll cut out a bunch of them and glue them together. I almost always do like 3 layers, sometimes more. I think it just looks really, really nice on a card. But for this card, we only need the one set. Let's bring out our, yeah, I thought that might happen. It did not cut through my H all the way. Let's see if I had any other issues. Yeah. See, it's just not cooperating. Live troubles. Let me cut this out with my old-fashioned hand crank over here. I think I'm going to stop using the magic mat on that electric one. It just doesn't work as well. As you can see, it's not the dye. It's cut out gorgeous and quickly on this one. And my magic mat's just fine still on this one. I don't know. Problem for another day. Julie, that's not bad. Like if you cut them while you're watching videos, I suppose that wouldn't be so boring. But even then, I don't know. I can't bring myself to do it. Maybe someday. Because it would be handy to have a bunch already pre-made. I will say that. Joan, you cut your own. You misplace them when you cut them out ahead of time. I misplace stuff in process all the time when I'm making cards. Like, you guys see me do it. I'll be like, what did I just do with that? I know I cut one out, or I know it was here, and I'm pretty organized. And yet, stuff just disappears. You know, it's the way it goes. Okay, for this hello, we are going to add a little bit of color to it. And we're going to get our pouncers back here. I'm going to keep my 2U white, so I'm just going to set those over here. And for the hello, I want to bring in the purple and the chipped sapphire, I think. No, I think we'll bring in the purple and the broken china. Just kidding. What we're gonna do is we're gonna make a two-tone sentiment, which is really fun. That's smart, Mickey. Putting them in envelopes so that you can find them when you need them. That is a good idea. So I always tap off with my pouncer when I'm gonna do this type of technique. If I'm going to do two-tone. If I'm going to just color this whole thing, there's no reason to tap off your pouncer. Just color the whole thing and get a bunch of ink on there. But because I'm going to be kind of, not really blending, but sort of blending the two colors together, I am going to tap off before I pounce on there. Ooh. There we go. And I'm just going to build up this color, especially towards the top. So I'm not going down past the bottom half of the word because I'm going to bring the blue there. Well, even just that, look how cool that looks. I love this. Love, love, love sentiments that are two-tone or that are faded out like that. Ooh, maybe I want to leave it like that. It's so pretty. Let me see. No, because we're going to leave our 2U white. No. But that would look gorgeous. Gorgeous. Gorgeous on a quad. Sorry to any of my East Coast friends. I'm sure that was terrible. Okay, let's bring in some broken china here. And we're going to blend it up into that purple. Super easy to do. Just bring it along that bottom. You can even squeeze your pouncer if you want to make little fine adjustments to it. Or you could break out your pint-sized pouncers to do this if you have them, and that would work really well. You could even color each of your letters a different color, which would look super cool. But we're not getting that crazy today, guys. No multicoloring, although that is a fun way to do a sentiment too. So many fun things in such little time. Okay, there we go. Look how pretty. Isn't that fun? I love, love, love blended sentiments like this. They just look so cool. Okay, let's put this away now. Put that away. Move our adorable hello out of the way. Dawn, you have stuff go missing. It's right in front of your face. You and I. Oh my gosh. I just can't even. I'll be like going, what did I do with it? And it's like right there on my desk. All right, clean this. Clean up. Clean up. Everybody, everywhere. Clean up, everybody. Do your share. We've got our whites. We've got this. We've got this. We've got about 17 minutes left, so we are good. We're gonna bring in a shaker sheet. Now, these shaker sheets are from Picket Fence. They sell these in like a roll. And there's a bunch of them, and they last like forever. You also could use something like stamp packaging or acetate to do this. I find it's tricky because I really like having these because then I just have them for when I need them, and I keep them in the same container that I keep my acetate. And also, these don't have like nicks and dings and stuff like that in them, so they just look really fresh and clean anytime I need to use one. So I really like them. I use them a lot when I'm going to do a flat kind of front shaker. So I'm going to cut this at about 4 3/4. And then I just save all the rest of it and put it back in my bin. And then I'm going to cut it here at 6. So that way I'll have 1/4 of an inch about to work with. Now because this is double layered, come on. You can see, I'm just going to take my scissors and cut right along the edge, like so. Come on. It's clear, so it's hard to see. There we go. So now I can save one of these for another card, put it back in my bin where I keep that kind of stuff. And then we're going to need some double-sided tape. I have no idea what brand this is, don't ask me. No clue. And then we're going to take our pretty piece that should be all nice and dry now. Hopefully. Yep. Like you can see all that shimmer. So pretty. We'll put it in, and we are going to tape along. Actually, I'm going to move that, and then we're going to add tape to the back of the card panel here. Probably would be a little bit easier actually with 1/8 of an inch tape, since I didn't give myself a huge margin, but that's okay, because we're gonna tape this to a card base anyway. So if there's extra sticky sticking out, it doesn't really matter. Isn't that from a Queen song? Is it Queen? No, but doesn't really matter. Wow, no, that's not right at all. But it's something like that. Oh, it's from Bohemian Rhapsody, I think. That's what my brain's telling me anyway. So we'll get our tape all the way around. There we go. Make sure it's nice and pressed down so that way the release tape comes off easily. And we will take the release tape off of 3 sides. You don't want to take it off all 4, because then you won't be able to get your pretty little shaker bits in there. Yes, Queen. Okay, thank you. Thank you. I rely on you guys for letting me know whether or not I know what I'm doing. All right, let's bring this in. And it's probably hard to see on camera, but I can kind of see it here. And I'm going to center it. And then I will carefully bring up one side in the center. And work my finger along that edge, kind of pushing up as I work it along the edge. I get real particular about how these look on cards. Most people are not as particular about it, but I get really irritated if there's any excess. You don't be like me. You guys just don't be like me. So I always make sure to go in the center and push it up, and then have my finger run up along the edge and out. Okay, so now we have our little pocket here created, and I'm not going to put a ton of shaker mix. In my flat front shakers, I don't put a lot in there. It's just to add that little bit of fun sparkle. Okay, yes, Bohemian Rhapsody, I was right. Yay. And now I'm going to trim off this little bit extra. Just be careful not to over trim, because you could inadvertently create a little hole on the end there, which could eventually cause some of your pretty little bits to come out. And you don't want that to happen. And then all your shiny sparkly stuff is gone, and nobody wants that. For our shiny sparkly stuff, speaking of, we have Razzle Dazzle. I have used this, I think, pretty much on every card for the lives this month, and that's because I'm just telling you guys, like, it's got my favorite colors in here. You've got teals and blues and purples and pinks. They work so well together. Just gonna add a little bit in there, because what I don't want to do is I don't want to detract either from my pretty stenciled background that I've created. So I might add just a little bit more, but not much. Just a smidge. There we go. Yeah, that's good. Okay, put this away. If you wanted to get a little more fancy, you could glue some of those sequins on before you put your shaker sheet or cellophane over it, because then they would stay in those places. But because it's so thin, once this is all shook out, even when you hold it up, some of those are going to stay. So I'm not worried about it. Now, let's pull off our last little piece of tape here. And you guys see, like, I've been using this all month, and I still have so much goodness to use. I love those big embellishment jars. Okay, fold, run our finger up. There we go. Run our finger. There we go. And then we can trim off this little excess bit here. So make sure I don't trim too much. And the reason I say that like 20 times is because I've done it, and it's just such a bummer. Okay, there. And here. There we go. Yay! Now look at our beautiful, sparkly, shakery, rainbowy, colory background. So cool. Get my little plastic bits out of the way. It's raining cellophane. Oh, let's do a drink of coffee this time, guys. How are you doing? You guys are quiet. You hanging with me? You just watching me fumble around? Fumble around. Okay, we're gonna bring in. Oh, we're not gonna do that yet. Just kidding. I'm gonna bring in a little mini sanding block I have here, and just kind of run it along the edges of these letters because they've got some little paper hairs that I'm not loving. There we go. I'll include these if I remember on the supply list, but you get like a giant pack of them, and they're great because they're small and kind of nimble and easy to use, and you can use them for other projects too. Like if you've ever done where you use like a white core cardstock, so that's where it's white in the middle but colored on the outside, and then you use an embossing folder, you can rub off the top of your embossed image to expose the white of the core. And that's a really cool kind of like, I like to do it when I'm doing more of like a shabby chic kind of card, or maybe a vintagey style of card. But these are handy because you get like a million of them, and you could use them for your nails if you want to. I have some up here that I use, and I discovered these because Nicole, the owner of Pick Event Studios, she included one of these in a card kit last year. It was just part of the card kit. I was like, what am I supposed to do with that? And then I discovered what it was magical for, and I went and hunted them down and bought a bunch of them, and I'll have them like forever. So that looks much better now. You guys probably couldn't really see it on camera, but I could just see all those little paper bits, and they were driving me bonkers. Oh, Joan, well, I hope that was helpful then, to have somebody else say that they've done it as well and give you some tips from them. Okay, let's see. Now, the easiest way to do this is to take your piece that you use to die cut from, and what's a little bit tricky, I'm going to do the two first, because this is really spaced with the way the die's cut for a horizontal or landscape card, but we're going to put it on portrait orientation, vertical orientation, and so we're going to just remove some of this spacing here. But I do want to use this because it's going to help me easily line up my letters. And so what I'm going to do is first, no, I'll just use my magnet. First, I'm going to center this on my glass mat so that I know it's centered. And then I'm going to put this where I think I want it and make sure it's all the way on, but not too far on. I think that's pretty good. And then I'll just hold it in place. So then I can take my letters here and we'll do some inlay, but we're not going to leave that other piece. That's just to help us get our proper spacing. So let me get my glue. Oh, sorry. Told you guys, I just ran over my dog. He's like, what the heck? Sorry, bud. I didn't literally run over him, but I got close to him and he jumped up He was like, hey, sorry, dude. I know you were sleeping. You're supposed to be sleeping on your bed. He's like, I'm out of here, Mom. He went across the room and sat on the chair. Okay, so I added some glue on here. And now I can just pop it in. And you could... Oh, man, I got ink on there. Oh, you know what that was from? That was from when I was in a rush and I didn't stop to clean it. When I got the hair off of the ink plate. But that's okay. It's okay. And I'm just going to hold this down. Got a lot of magnets going on here, guys. Let me make sure this is clean now before I do another one. We're going to run just a couple minutes over, mostly because I've been jabbering about various things. And we'll put some glue here. What was I saying? Oh, you could die cut this out with an adhesive sheet on the back, which I say this often. I just don't ever think to do it. And I have friends who do it, and they are much smarter than me because they always remember to. I don't ever remember to. I don't know why. I just don't. And if you did that, you wouldn't have to glue it. But I didn't, so we're gluing. It will adhere to the cellophane, by the way, with glue. It just takes longer. Now, before I do this, I almost just went on. We're going to remove the mask from this side. Stay on there. Why? It's because I'm live, you guys. Oh, stop, you thing. Well, hooey. It's trying to move around on me. Oh, there we go. It's okay. It's okay. And this will, my little dot of ink is not the end of the world because it will get covered probably by our super cool hello that we made. I'm going to cut this U out because I'm trying to, you know, stab myself with my scissors because I want to have a little bit more ability to do what I want here. Okay. I think that's about right, I think. How does that look, guys? Yeah, I think that looks good. Okay, let's add a little bit more glue on here since that's probably dried. There. We'll put our Y. Y. There we go. Hold it down with the magnet, but we're blocking our O. There we go. Bring in our O. Having a magnetic glass board is so handy. I just love this darn glass mat so much, you guys. Like, it just makes life so much easier. My crafty life, anyway. It doesn't make my coffee in the morning, but it does hold my stuff down. Kind of a win. Uh-oh. I'm getting kind of sloppy here, guys. I think some glue tried to escape. All right, now we'll put our U. Now you could also use, you know, a T ruler or something like that to help you do this. That, for me, when I'm working with a shaker, this is kind of like bumpy, and it's just, I don't think it's as easy to do. Oh yeah, Mickey, it cleans up so easily. I love it. Cleans easy. It's big. It's just perfect. Perfect crafting. For a long time, I used a Cricut self-healing mat to craft on. And it was great, and it was a lot less expensive than this glass board. But it, you know, it just got banged up, and like stuff would stick to it, and I could never get it fully clean. And then like if I ever cut anything on it, which is what it was intended for, then I could see those cut marks. And I just, when I got this, my life was changed that day. All right, let's see if we can do this without moving things. Now for the home viewers, I would say let those sit for a while and not try and pull off your mask 5 seconds after you've glued down your letters. But we're live, and I can't make you guys stay here all day. As much as I love hanging out with you, I know you have other things to go do in life other than listen to Charlene go on and on about card making. So let's see if we can do this without, aha, we did. Yay! I'm gonna put these back on just for a second here. Whew, that was like a workout. Yeah, laundry. Oh, I'm keeping you from laundry. Okay, then I don't feel so bad, Mickey. I'll keep you longer to keep you from your laundry. I don't know if you guys know, laundry is my least favorite thing in the world. And it's actually one of the things for every year for Mother's Day, I save up the laundry. And that's part of what is done on Mother's Day, is they do all of my laundry. Or all of the house laundry, and I don't have to touch it. It's glorious. It's just like that alone is all I need to make me feel loved and appreciated. Because then they understand. Like, laundry is just such a bummer. Yes, success, Joan. It worked out lovely. And it is a little tiny bit off. But that's also because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. But it probably won't be noticeable once we get our hello on there. Oh, that looks so cool. Now this is probably going to stick to my mat a little bit because there was some of that double-sided tape still exposed on the back, but it'll pop up. Oh, that looks cool. Now, can you guys see that? How fun is that? Let's put our hello on there. Just carefully add our glue on. Little dab. Oh, I haven't mentioned this yet. If you are new to my lives, at the end of this live, which is going to happen very shortly, I will pick someone randomly from the comments to send this card to, and you'll get some happy mail. It's always nice to open up the mailbox and see a card. So, if you're interested in potentially receiving this card in the mail, definitely leave a comment. And if you're not, you know, some people aren't big talker, chatter people, and that's fine. I am. I just never seem to stop chatting during lives and other people's lives that I'm watching. But if that's not what you normally do, just drop a short little comment down in there now to get your name in there, and we'll do that just momentarily. Now, you gotta decide. I'm gonna move this down so I can kind of see better, guys. Where you want this to go, how far across. I feel like maybe here. Or do we want, no, we want it turned like this a little bit. Yeah, I think that's good. Okay. And what I'll do for that little spot where I got the ink earlier is I will use a white gel pen to fix that. Easy peasy. White gel pen, another staple that I always recommend you have on hand. Okay, guys, we're pretty much done. I just have to add this to a card base. So let's let dry for a moment. Hey, it's me. If you want to follow, wait, I don't know what side it's on. If you want to follow me on social media, you can find me across social media as Dreamcraft Create. So if you want to see the finished picture of this, I post it on Instagram, and it will also be the thumbnail to this video when it is all done. So now I'm ready to pick. You guys ready? I'm gonna close my eyes and we're just gonna scroll randomly through the comments. Maybe we'll go way up, down, 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 up, down, down, down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Where am I? Nima! Yay! Yay! You are the winner of the card. And send me an email to contact@dreamcraftcreate.com. That's my personal email with your address, and I will mail this off to you, and you can get a fun little card. Oh, you guys can't see. I'm over here like, look, you guys can't see. Now that I took the, there we go. All finished. I'll just put it on a card base, but this will mail super easily. That was the goal here. This will fit right into an envelope, no problem. Won't, have to worry about anything getting smashed or anything like that, because with this style of shaker, you don't use any foam tape, and so it just makes the whole process a lot easier. All right, guys. You made it. We're 9 minutes late. Keeping you from laundry, right? Okay, guys, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your Tuesday, a wonderful rest of your week. I should be here next Tuesday. As far as I know, nothing crazy is happening. And we'll hang out and we'll make, next week. Let's see, what's the date next week? I think the new release will already be, let's see. Today's the 11th. Yeah. So next Tuesday, the new release will be out. The June release will be out by then. So you'll get to see some of that as well. So definitely come hang out with me again. I appreciate you all, and have a wonderful day. Bye.